Sri Lanka Design Festival is an extraordinary event. I mean, I think it's game-changing. It's a vital and very vibrant event which is bringing together international expertise from all over the world, but also showcasing Sri Lankan expertise, which is incredible.
What was interesting about the Sri Lanka Design Festival is that it really did put together people from a very wide variety of the fashion industry. So you had from the thinkers, the producers, the artists, the teachers, you know, the high street, the high end, the big, the small. And in that sense, it was very unique. It's a very unique experience.
Fashion is very conventional, and we're conventionally put in our compartments. And the Sri Lankan Design Festival broke all the rules so that you've got these fantastic random connections.
At the catwalk and right now, it's the local designers that I'm finding the most inspiring.
Climate change is a reality, so we all have to adjust how we do business. And the great thing about the shows was it was able to showcase design excellence, and it just so happened coincidentally that it was made ethically and it was sourced uniquely and it did minimum damage, but that was almost secondary, which I think is really refreshing. The mentoring programme between the UK graduates and extraordinary craftsmen was a really, really radical and brave collaboration.
We were introduced to a whole scope of craft people, and then from that I narrowed it down to 5 different craft people, 2 boutique artists, 1 Dunborough hand weaver, 1 handloom silk weaver. We handed them designs of the actual fabrics and they just went ahead and made them.
In the UK we have this incredible creativity, it's really extraordinary, but to actually achieve a level of very good design, presentation and amazing ideas from over there, it's again more of an achievement because we're less used to that.
I think the platform that's provided for the students is actually incredible. I mean, a lot of British graduates don't get the opportunity that they've had tonight.
Even a couple of years ago you would get homespun craft sitting in one area and cutting edge design in another. It's thanks to great visionaries like Linda that they've started to mesh the two so that you've got cutting edge design which happens to be made on a hand loom.
There's a lot of amazing talent coming up from there. At the moment I'm in the process of mentoring 4 of these young designers for this Sri Lanka Ethical Design Award in Aesthetica. We're providing them with different types of mentoring.
The excellence of both practices came together to make something new. I was fascinated to see very, very modern fashion designers, I mean, you know, having a modern aesthetic, physically hand weaving their own fabric and then cutting it. We talk about responsible fashion, and they were taking responsibility in a very deep way.
I think that Sri Lanka has the highest concentration of eco-factories in the world. It shows you what the industry should be like. I think everyone that goes is aware that it isn't necessarily like this, and it certainly isn't like this everywhere. And what Sri Lanka is doing by flagging these eco-factories is providing an alternative, an idealistic, perhaps, at the minute, alternative.
It's really 100 years away from the average factory. Everything they were telling us about it, you know, like the water cooling system and the air and the light, I mean, it actually seemed like a really nice place to work.
Yeah, it was actually mind-blowing.
When you're talking about an eco-factory, you have to imagine that everything is considered to run a kind of cradle-to-cradle type journey. So from the fact that the workers, when they arrive, they're greeted with food in a canteen, which is serving, you know, food that is healthy, to the fact that they are operating in rooms where there is sunlight rather than darkness, which lifts the mood and therefore makes the whole of the activity that they're doing much more precious and a much better experience. And then on a more technological way, they're using better machines, more sophisticated machines, and mostly, really, it's a factory which is geared to save rather than dispense.
Seeing that kind of a scale of operation under one roof, and the employees actually genuinely smiling. I don't know if you noticed the different colour headscarves on the ladies, so you could have more consideration given to the orange headscarf that meant that you were pregnant, or the purple headscarf that meant that you were just out of training, or the yellow one which meant you were on probation. I mean, having that superficially you'd think, oh, that's kind of segmenting people, but really it's just so they could give them more consideration and not overload them with the wrong kinds of work.
I was really quite impressed, the complexity of it, how they had made things so much better just by doing quite simple things like grass roofs, but architecturally that's really forward thinking.
It was faultless.
Already people in other countries are coming and looking at what they've done with a view to doing the same sort of thing. It's blazing a trail for other people.
You can produce like this, you can be part of the fashion industry supply chain at this level in this way, and all designers and all retailers should strive to achieve this level of, transparency. You will find that the worker understands waste because the worker sees it, and as they cut it, they put it in the bin and they think, why? It makes no sense. The fact that waste is actually recovered, sent over to China, repulped, what they do, what they can, they feed to the local market rather than disperse it away. They save water, they reuse their water. So it's entirely designed in order to follow an ecosystem, which is, supposed to be and is eco-friendly.
We felt it was really important with the Ethical Symposium to bring together a lot of very different voices because the issues are so complex.
The symposium was very interesting this year.
Looking around the room and seeing young students, scientists, heads of very successful companies all together and all on a level playing field, and with that mixture only good can come of it.
The Sri Lanka Design Festival has achieved two major things as far as I'm concerned. The first one is to highlight this incredible struggle on behalf of the industry. By struggle, really, I mean investment. This incredible investment on behalf of the industry to drive an incredible move towards sustainability. We're making a new world, we're making a new language, and sustainability, particularly in fashion, is very much an example of that.
They have really dedicated themselves to finding solutions to the fashion problems.
The second thing that it's done is that it has brought to the attention of the people that it brought together the fact that it is a thriving industry, and from a thriving manufacturing industry, eventually, sooner or later, you will get your own designers.
Got so many friends over here that I've met in such a short space of time. It's fantastic.
Hopefully, it will spurn other types of festivals in other areas and other projects that are this intelligent, this powerful, this committed, and this infectious, I hope.